For as long as I can remember, I felt like I should try to get other people to believe in Jesus. Like my whole life's goal should be convincing people they're sinners, offering the good news of Jesus, and getting them to pray what I called the sinner's prayer. I'm not sure if it was because I was a very earnest child or very literal, probably both, but I took this to heart. People were going to hell, and if I, at 10 years old, at 15 years old, at 20 years old, didn't convince my classmate or my teacher or my peer that they needed to become a Christian, they would miss out on heaven and be in hell when they died, and it would be all my fault. I felt personally responsible for people around me not going to hell. And this, as you can probably guess, caused me a lot of anxiety. I thought about the state of the world a lot. I can remember once being at my grandparents' house in downtown Raleigh, and a pedestrian was hit by a vehicle outside their home. And as we gathered around their dinner table to pray that he would be okay and just for the situation, I remember as a teenager, I couldn't stop crying because I was so worried about the state of his soul. This mindset led me to look for any opportunity I could find to direct a conversation to Jesus and the afterlife. You can imagine this set me up to be a really great conversationalist. When I was in college, the mindset persisted, even if it softened somewhat. The fear of hell wasn't at the forefront of the conversation anymore, but it still kind of lingered in the background of my mind. I was bothered by the bullhorn guy on my college campus who was yelling at students that they were sinners and that they needed to repent before they went to hell. And I could articulate the message in a different way, but the urgent pressure was still there. In my adulthood, I've wrestled with a vague sense of guilt. Shouldn't I be doing more? Shouldn't I be convincing people that they need to follow Jesus? Our church is dying because people like me aren't doing enough of that work we call evangelism. Am I part of the problem if I don't tell people about Jesus? But then I think, isn't it arrogant to assert that I know how other people ought to live? I've seen the damage of loving people by telling people that they're sinners and they deserve to burn in hell. And I've been part of the damage of exporting our brand of Christianity to other parts of the world in toxic missions. Maybe like me, you've struggled with this part of your faith too. You've struggled to know how to talk about your faith without seeming like you're better than someone else or trying to manipulate them. Maybe you've wondered if this is really an essential part of following Jesus, and if it is, how to do it well. Let's pause here for a chat question, just for a chance for you to reflect on this problem, this idea. If you consider yourself a Jesus follower, have you wrestled with whether you should be doing more evangelism? Or maybe you're not a Jesus follower. Have you ever wondered why Christians want other people to become Christians? Take a minute, talk about it.